Good evening, everybody. It's been a long gap since the last update video. The reason for that is there hasn't really been too much significant activity since the last time. But I might as well recap and mention what has changed or what has happened since then. I've been making progress on the Marvel Rivals video game, which I continue to play both casually and competitively. It is surprisingly entertaining when I am not doing any in real life stuff. So it is fun when I'm off from a long day at work, among other personal things. It is a flawed game. It's not exactly the most optimized, but it's at least fun, unlike say, Overwatch 2, which I've said many times before. Other than Marvel Rivals, I'm happy to say that I'm already well caught up with Final Fantasy XIV Online, the only MMORPG that I've been playing for over 2 years now. And I'm at the latest content of the game, and I've finished leveling everything. It feels weird to finally be caught up on an MMO after years of content. But I like this MMO because at least it respects my free time. You don't have to do everything in the game. I just do most of the important activities like the Hildebrand side quests, which I personally enjoy. And I'm finally starting to do some MMO stuff that I couldn't do before because I was so focused on doing the main story, which was honestly entertaining, even if it does dip in quality at some points, like main Dawn Trail story, for example. Only the last 20% of the story was interesting. But at least Paul's Dawn Trail overall was at least a more cohesive and interesting storytelling at the very least. Other than those two games, there are a couple of handful of other games that I've been playing from time to time. There hasn't been much VR activity, unfortunately. Haven't been in the mood for that. But I can finally do some simulator games, which I have yet to do more of because I have to be in the mood for those. So I basically got all my bases covered. And there's really only a handful of other indie games that really are catching my attention. I still play some old games from time to time, like Sergeant Tuve's Extermination, Ready or Not, Void Crew, sometimes Planet Side 2, and a couple of handful of other games that I can't remember at the top of my head. And the only major release that I see coming up that I might be interested in, and hopefully that game is not disappointing, is Battlefield 6. I don't know if that game is going to be good on release. I don't know if it's going to be disappointing, but it's the only major release this year that I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I get the chance to play it because of its high price. Maybe I'll be lucky and get it gifted to me again. But it's the only game on my wish list right now that's worth mentioning. So that's about the size of the update video today. Nothing really much has changed after all this time. But I'm happy that I am caught up as much as I can. And I'm in a comfortable zone now. I don't usually do what's trending right now. I try to be genuine when possible, and I'm not afraid to say things that I do not like, even if I'm sometimes in a minority voice on that one. But you just gotta be honest because if you're gonna pretend to like something, especially for a game, it's not gonna be healthy in the long run because eventually the dislike proportion is eventually gonna boil over. But I digress. But anyway, thank you all so much for still being here. I do mean that. Thank you for still being here. Even if I don't see familiar names uh, on our server or in these live shows all the time, I'm still glad to see them, and I'm still glad to see you still here. So let's keep it going, and I'll see you all soon.